Hey everyone, Homostar Fan 13 here, welcome back to the next video game collection video, and this time we're actually going to be combining two systems together. We're going to be doing PS4 and PS5 in this video. So the reason I'm doing that is because I feel like there's enough games put together to do one video, and also because a lot of the PS4 games have been upgraded to the PS5 version, so, you know, they didn't really fit in any of the sections. Like, you can't really do them in the PS4 because they're technically not PS4 games anymore. And you can't really do them in the PS5 section because, well, they're still PS4 games. So I just thought, to stop that from being confusing, we'll just do them all in one big video. So the order will be a bit different this time. So we're going to do regular PS4 games first, then we'll do like PS4 upgraded to PS5, and then we'll end on just PS5. Might sound confusing, but it'll make sense. So if you want to just see the PS5 games, I'll put a timestamp in the description, and you should see the chapters. So without further ado, let's just continue. So we'll start with the just regular PS4 and just the non-licensed stuff. So we'll start off with what I believe is the only original PS4 game here, and that's Dreams. So this is a weird game. I think this was like, when it came out, people were really into this. So it's like a game where you can make your own games. It's made by the same guys who did, let's say, Little Big Planet. But it's like a bigger version of Little Big Planet. So it was sort of a big deal when it came out. But then I feel like it was one of those games where like it's hot for like a few weeks, and then people's enjoyment could just drop off. Like, you can find some fun stuff in here. Like, there was some good Crash Bandicoot fan games in here. I think there was someone did a Rayman game in there. Like, there are some fun stuff in there. I haven't played this for a while. I think last time I tried to play this was on my PS5, and I think the game crashed. So I kind of didn't want to play it anymore after that because I was worried it was going to crash again. But no, I still think it's what should I say? Like, I still think there's probably some fun to be done with this. Like, I assume the servers are still up, so you can still find some wacky stuff in here. So yeah, if you like seeing some fun stuff, then yeah, I'd pick it up. Next up, this is a good one. Doom, the 2016 version of Doom. I only bought this like a few years ago, actually, and I actually only just started playing it late last year. I need to go back to it at some point, but yeah, it's super fun. I'm not that big into shooters, or at least I didn't used to be. I'm kind of trying to get into shooters now, and I think mostly because of this game, because this game is very fun. Like, this is a great game. It's just not a typical shooter game. Like, I think they did the right move here, and it's unique. You know, it's not like every other shooter that was coming out around the time, so this game is unique. I haven't played again, when I finish this, I'm going to then probably get Eternal, because that looks good. I've actually also been playing the classic Doom as well. I just saw that they put them all on PlayStation Plus now, so I might have to start having a go at the older ones as well. So yeah, absolutely pick this game up. It's super fun. Oh, speaking of classic shooters, Call of Duty Modern Warfare Remastered. Yeah, I'm actually trying to get into like the classic Call of Duties, you know, the ones that were actually fun. I mean, I said I've not really played. Does people even talk about Call of Duty anymore? Like, is that still going? I don't think I've heard anyone. No one really talks about Call of Duty anymore, and it's a shame because, I mean, it's awkward to say because at the time I was one of those Call of Duty sucks camp, and I feel like I look back on them and go, oh, they actually kind of didn't. Like, these, I think Modern Warfare 1, 2, and World at War, they're the best ones. And yeah, I think this is a pretty fun. I've only played like the first mission of it. The first mission of this actually is quite fun. But yeah, I'll be excited to play more of this one, and yeah, then maybe I'll go through Modern Warfare 2, and then probably Modern Warfare 3, and then maybe get World at War as well, because that's the good one. Yeah, what to say there. Next up, we've got Devil May Cry 5. I've not played a lot of this one. I think I didn't get that far in it. Well, actually, no, I don't know how far I got into it. I got to at least get to play as Dante, so I played as all three characters. But the issue I had with this was that this should be a PS5 game, or like this should be an upgraded PS5 game, but you can't. This is like one of two games I own where you can't upgrade to the PS5 version. I don't really understand why. I think the PS5 version has like, I think it's got like new characters or whatever in it, or something like that makes it so that you can't do it. But still annoying. I still think they should at least let you like pay for the DLC to upgrade it to the PS5 version. You know, kind of like what FF7 did, which we'll get to in a minute, but. Yeah, from what I played of it, pretty fun. I just kind of suck at these games, so yeah, not much else to say. I've not played enough of it to have like a proper opinion on it, but yeah, pretty good. Next up, we've got the fighting games now, and then here we go, Tekken 7. Yeah, I really love Tekken 7. I kind of bought it on a whim, to be honest. Like, it was a game where I wasn't sort of, what's the word, like, it wasn't a game I was excited for, then I saw it in the shop and bought it, and yeah, I really enjoyed this game. Didn't really like the story mode, thought story mode was a bit bland and boring. Like, well, next game we'll talk to has like the kind of revolutionized story modes in video games, and then every video game had to have a story mode, and you then get games like this where it feels like they just half-arse it, which is a shame. But no, characters are cool. The gameplay's really good. Of course, this one had the crossover characters. So you have Akuma's in it, Geese from Fatal Fury or King of Fighters, whatever game he's from, and of course, flipping Negan from Walking Dead. Probably up there as the strangest fighting game character ever, or like strangest crossover character ever. I still can't believe that happened. It's just so weird. It just seems so out of place, but I guess that's kind of why it makes it fun. What makes it fun, huh? But yeah, I'm very excited for Tekken 8 as well, which should hopefully be coming out this year. So yeah, I briefly alluded to this one, Mortal Kombat XL. So this is the like updated version that's got all the DLC on it. So you've got like, you know, again all the horror characters: Jason, Alien, Leatherface, and Predator. Yeah, I think this is probably the best Mortal Kombat game. The story mode's pretty fun. Like I said about the whole Mortal Kombat 9 and this game, like they kind of revolutionized, Mortal Kombat kind of revolutionized story modes in fighting games. And of course, as mentioned, so many games then try to do their own story modes. And yeah, I still think Mortal Kombat is still the king of story modes. They seem to be the only ones that kind of understand how to do it right. Like even if the stories aren't good, it still feels like they understand the right ways to do it. And I feel like most games should look at how Mortal Kombat does their story modes and just do it that way. But yeah, this one's definitely the most fun. Mortal Kombat games are all the best characters, you know. And yeah, and unfortunately we'll get to Mortal Kombat 11 like quite in a while, and that one kind of ruined it a little bit. But I'll get to that later. But yeah, I still think if you're going to play one Mortal Kombat game, I'd play this one. I think this one's the best one. Alright, next up we're on to the regular PS4 licensed game. So I'm just going to do the wrestling games first, and I'm going to just do them all together because I feel like I've not got a lot to say about all of them together. So we've got WWE 2K16, WWE 2K17, WWE 2K18, WWE 2K19, and the one you were waiting for, WWE 2K20. So I kind of find these to be kind of the dark ages of the WWE games in a way. Not that they're bad, well, that one's bad, but I think most of these games are fine. They're just not very interesting. And again, so 2K had only just taken over at this point. 2K15, as I mentioned, the PS3 video, the PS4 version of that is awful. But I think these ones are fine. I just feel like they don't have a lot of... There's no reason for me to go back to these ones. Like I remember, like 2K16 and 2K17, I actually lost all my save data for that one because I deleted them because I actually got rid of most of these games to save space, and I didn't feel bad about them because I just didn't feel like I didn't feel like I was going to go back to these games, and I kind of don't. You know, the only one of these I would go back to is 2K19 because I actually think that one is pretty fun. And just to give some examples, like 2K16. So as you can see, the story mode of this one was had the showcase mode in this one is Austin, which on paper is fine, but the issue is that we had just had the Attitude Era mode like 3 games ago in WWE 13. So it feels like we're retreading a lot of the same like matches, you know, because like a lot of Austin's matches were in the Attitude Era mode, and it just feels like we're doing the same stuff again, so it's just not that interesting. So much so that and then 2K17 they just got rid of showcase mode entirely, but that was mostly because it was meant to be a Brock showcase mode, but due to like licensing and that, they couldn't get like. I think the big issue was that they couldn't get Angle because I think Angle, funny enough, returned to the company like a few months after this game came out. But you know, Angle wasn't in the company yet, and you can't really do a Lesnar showcase mode without Kurt Angle because he was such a big part of Lesnar's story. Yeah, but like the other thing that what these 2 games did do is that they had an extra showcase mode called the Hall of Fame showcase mode for like all the wrestlers who got inducted into the Hall of Fame that year, which sounds good on paper, but they were all so boring because the matches they chose were just not interesting. Like, I mean, in the 2K, it's in one whenever Sting got inducted in the Hall of Fame, I think it might have been 2K16 he was inducted. The match they use is that they use a random match he had with Bret Hart at Halloween Havoc, which you can actually OSW reviewed that episode with that match in it, and it's not a good match, and it just seems like of all the Sting matches you could choose, why would you pick that one? And there's just a lot of stuff like that, like Rikishi's Hall of Fame in one of these ones, and they picked a random match you had with The Rock, where you got heel Rikishi, which makes no sense because heel Rikishi's already in the game, and it just wasn't interesting, and I think that explains why Showcase Mode was kind of scrapped for a while. Oh, and also the other issue with 2K16, I believe it was this one. Yeah, this was the infamous game that didn't have the 4 Horsewomen in it, so there was no Bayley, Sasha, Charlotte, or Becky. And I remember that was a big controversy, a massive deal that they weren't putting in this game, and quite rightly so, because so many other NXT guys were put in this game. Baron Corbin's in this game. Like, Baron Corbin's in the game, but the 4 Horsewomen weren't. And it wasn't, and it should be noted, it wasn't a 2K decision. 2K actually apparently fought to get them in the game. It was a WWE decision. So yeah, just remember whenever WWE bring up the Women's Revolution and all that, just remember that they prevented the top 4 women from being in this game. And I don't even remember, I don't think I have anything to say about 2K18 except for the fact that this is the infamous Switch version. Well, this was the one that had the infamous Switch port, which might be the worst WWE game. Like, I know 2K20 is right there, but I think the Switch version of 2K18 is probably the worst one. Yeah, there's just nothing really to this one. And the other thing about these 3 games is that they also had the boring career mode, which just was never exciting, and I just never got into it. That was until 2K19. This is the game. I thought that they got it right. They got everything good. Showcase Mode was back with Daniel Bryan, and they kind of reworked Showcase Mode this time, where actually having it just be like a rundown of someone's career and going through the highlights, and actually having Daniel Bryan sit down and talk in an interview session, which was really good. And I'm actually kind of happy that they've kept that style for Showcase. And then, of course, they brought back in they made the career mode way more exciting by actually giving you a story to do. And yeah, I think this was the game that sort of fixed it. And then this game came along and ruined it all. Like, what happened with 2K20? Well, I know what happened. Ukes left the company, and they had to give it to another company, Visual Concepts, and they had no idea what they were doing, so the game just turned into a massive mess. So Showcase Mode this year wasn't very interesting, because it was they actually did the 4 Horsewomen this year, which is, funny, because it might just make about 2K16, but it just wasn't as exciting this year, because unlike focusing on one sort of wrestler's career, they tried to focus on like 4 women's careers. And so the story just kind of like jumps about a bit, and they have to pick really random matches that aren't exciting. And also the final match, the triple threat match at WrestleMania between Becky, Ronda and Charlotte, is probably one of the hardest game modes, one of the hardest matches I've ever done in a video game, because it's so annoying. But also, the absolute worst part about this game is the absolutely terrible story mode. Oh my god, my career in this game is so bad. Like, it is the worst thing. Like, if I had the time and talent, I would make one of those massive, like, long, like, this is why this is bad video essay type things. Because it's just the worst. Okay, I think I've spent enough time talking about these games now, but yeah, 2K19's good. Get that one, ignore everyone else's. Ignore everyone else. Oh, I just realised. Oh, apologies. I just remembered. I've just realised I have another regular game I didn't talk about. Sorry, I should have mentioned this earlier. I didn't see this. Soul Calibur 6. Yeah, this should have been in the other section, but yeah, Soul Calibur 6 is good. Obviously, best part about this is the character creator. Not really else to say. Like, it's a fun game. Like, this was like the apology from Soul Calibur 5, because that one wasn't very good. So it had a better story mode in it, and they brought back a lot of the characters, and yeah, it's just pretty fun. It's just fun to create characters in this game. Like, I did make a couple of characters, and it's just fun. That's the best part about those games, is making characters. Okay, so yeah, back to what I was meant to be doing. Back to the license games, and let's talk about. So next up, Injustice 2. So this is under the Mortal Kombat. So this is obviously NetherRealm Studios' DC fighting game based on Mortal Kombat. I've not played a lot of this game. I only bought this like 2 years ago, I think, 3 years ago. And yeah, it's just I like the Injustice games, I like the Mortal Kombat games, I like the way the Mortal Kombat games play is my favourite like style of fighting game. So yeah, I mean, unfortunately this game kind of focused on this this was when they kind of got a little bit too, how would you say, like grindy in a way, because this was the first game to sort of focus on the cosmetic side and like grinding to get stuff for your characters and that, which I think Mortal Kombat 11 then kind of went overboard on. But if you just play this game normally, I think it's fine. Next up, technically another DC game, Lego Dimensions. So this is the only one of those Toys to Life games I own. And I actually really like this game. I mean, obviously it's hard to get into now because it's hard to get all of the toys, but I feel like I've got most of the toys, like most of the characters. I think the only ones I haven't really got of like the worlds, I haven't got the Goonies world, I haven't got the Beetlejuice world, and I think that's kind of it. I mean, I've not got the Ghostbusters 2016 one, but I think you can kind of use the regular Ghostbusters characters for that world, so I don't think I really need that one. So I think I only really need the Beetlejuice and Goonies stuff, and then I kind of can start completing the game. But yeah, I mean, obviously that's the issue with these games, is that you have to spend a lot of money to beat the game. But I still enjoy it. I mean, I actually wouldn't mind a sequel to this game, but like maybe done in a different way. Maybe they don't focus on Toys to Life and just have the characters in them, because like it's a massive crossover. So you've got Batman, it's DC, Lord of the Rings, Lego Movie, and then you've got like Sonic's in here, Powerpuff Girls, Simpsons, Portal's in this game, surprisingly. So yeah, it's a really good game, but I guess you're best off just watching like videos of it online now, because trying to get everything is just impossible. Well, unless you can find a way to like, you know, trick the game into thinking you've got the toys. Next up, boring game here, FIFA 17. So I've mentioned my thing that I'm doing when I'm trying to buy all the FIFA games for every console, or just buy FIFA for every console. This one's like the most interesting one because it's got a story mode in it, and I don't remember if it was actually interesting or not, but yeah, it's just FIFA, nothing else to say. Next up, not got a lot to say about this one yet because we only just started it, but Kingdom Hearts. Oh god, what's the name of this? Kingdom Hearts HD 1.5 plus 2.5 remix. So I kind of want to start getting into the Kingdom Hearts series. I'm actually getting into all the classic Disney movies now. So I think once I finish all the Disney movies, I'm going to start playing the Kingdom Hearts games. I've played a bit of one, and that's it. But I'm excited to get into this. I think the problem is that it's really hard to know, like, to get to know the whole story. So I think this is like the best one to get because it's got basically all of them in it. So it's like got, does it say? Yeah, so it's got, you know, Kingdom Hearts 1, 2, Chain of Memories, Birth by Sleep, 358 over 2 days, Recoded. God, these names are freaking stupid. Like, Kingdom Hearts is probably the best franchise with the most annoying, like, games. Because to find all the games and play them is just so annoying. So, like, yeah, so I think this is the best one to get all of the games. Next up, we've got two Dragon Ball Z games. We've got Dragon Ball Z Kakarot and Dragon Ball The Breakers. Not played a lot of these games, but Kakarot seems okay. It kind of seems like Xenoverse, but like going through the story. And I guess it's quite nice to see them try something different with the Dragon Ball Z story. Breakers is boring. Like I only just got Breakers and I regret getting it because it's an online only game. It's basically like Dead by Daylight, but Dragon Ball based, which is a cool concept, but it's just, I'm not good at online only games, and I just end up dying like almost immediately, and yeah, and I think it's also just, like filled with like pay to win microtransactions and stuff like that. So yeah, that's basically it. Nothing to say about these two. Next up, here we go, the best game on the system. Snoopy! Snoopy's Grand Adventure. I only just bought this game and I've only briefly played it. I love the Peanuts movie. I thought it was great, and I like Snoopy. Snoopy's so cute. So it's kind of, I guess the closest way I'd say is it's kind of like a sort of Yoshi's Woolly World style. Like the graphics are great, making it look like the film, and the film already looked good by having it sort of look like it basically was an updated like version of the Peanuts film, and that, yeah. I guess if you like Peanuts, then I recommend this, but it seems to be a very sort of generic kids platformer, but hey, that's fine sometimes, and you get to play a Snoopy, so yeah. Next up, this is a fun one, Deadpool, the Deadpool game. Yeah, I actually bought this game recently. I actually beat this game recently. I think 2 years ago now. Yeah, it's pretty fun. It can be quite annoying sometimes, but I think overall it's like basically if you like the Deadpool character, you'll like this game because that's what this game is good at. Is character. It's some great humor in it. Like this is like before I'd say fourth wall breaking humor got annoying. Like because of course nowadays everything has to be fourth wall breaking in meta, but I think in this case it was still fresh enough that it was fun. And there's a lot of good moments in it. I can't remember any of them, but like, there's like a bit where I think in like the opening of the game, the whole point of the opening is that Deadpool's like game gets they say like the game's getting made or something, so he actually phones Nolan North who voices Deadpool, which is quite funny. But yeah, I think it's okay. I think don't go into this expecting like a big game. I think that's gonna be hard to find now because it's not digital anymore. So what was interesting, I think this was actually a re-release. Yeah, it was a re-release on PS4 because obviously. So it was released on PS3 and 360 at first. Then it got taken down due to like losing the rights to it. And then I think they re-released this around the same time as the Deadpool film was coming out. So it was obviously like a good marketing strategy to bring this game back. So people who were interested in the film would then get this game. Which is actually a good strategy when you get right down to it. But yeah, I'd definitely give it a go. But anyways, here we go. This is no jokes now. Probably my favourite game on the system and one of my favourite games of all time. Spider-Man. What do I even say about this game? This game is fantastic. This is the best Spider-Man game ever. Probably one of the best superhero games ever. Actually, no. Let's go even further. Best licensed game ever made. I'm gonna say it. I think this is the best licensed game ever. I mean, it helps that like this is a licensed game made by a proper studio. You know, Insomniac, who made the Ratchet and Clank and Spyro games. It's just, I know it's cliche, but it makes you feel like Spider-Man. Like I know it's a cliche line, but people said it for a reason because it feels so true. It's just the best. It's hard to like find another game that's as good as this, you know? And I cannot wait for the sequel. I cannot wait for Spider-Man 2. Still haven't seen anything about it yet, which is kind of annoying me, but I think that could be even better. So yeah. That's it for that one. So now we will move on to PS4 games that have been upgraded to PS5. So we'll start off with a sequel to a game I've already mentioned, Mortal Kombat 11. Yeah, so I kind of mentioned I do like Mortal Kombat 11, but I kind of mentioned this with the Injustice 2 section is that this was the one that went a bit too far with the like the custom variations. That's it. Is that this game kind of went too far with it. So you've got to really grind to do a lot of stuff for your characters. Like so much stuff for your characters are locked, and you got to do things like the crypts and the towers, and it's just not very fun. Like it's just so annoying, and I kind of wish it wasn't there. I mean, I think I've read somewhere that for Mortal Kombat 12, which did get announced, probably not how they wanted it to be announced, but whatever, it has been announced, it's coming. I think Ed Boon has said like they're going to be completely getting rid of the variations thing, and I think that's a good step. I mean. That means at least shows that they're listening to feedback and they kind of realised that they tried it, it didn't really work so well. So it's nice to see that they're listening to change stuff. But overall, I still think it's a fun game. Like it's Mortal Kombat. Mortal Kombat's fun. I like the Mortal Kombat games as mentioned, and yeah. If you've got the PS5, then get this one because it's just the updated version. And I've also got the DLC on here as well, so I've got the extra story mode and that. Which I think I've defeated, but I can't remember if I have or not. Which I think tells you how interesting the story was that in that. Yeah, story I think it was okay in this game. It's like did the whole time travel stuff, and there are some annoying parts in it. I don't want to give too much away because this is a lot more recent than Mortal Kombat 9. But the sort of thing with Mortal Kombat stories is that they feel like they always have to do something that they always want to do something stupid in them. But yeah, I think it was okay. Next up, now here's a good one: Crash Bandicoot 4. It's about time. Yeah, Crash Bandicoot, he's back, finally. Like, after the huge success of N. Sane Trilogy and Team Racing, he finally came back. And this game is flipping amazing. It's so good. It might be the best Crash game. It's also the most annoying Crash game because... I mean, I don't want 100% games. I'm not a completionist. But... even I feel so bad for people like Kanekurus and the completionists who had to complete this game because it just isn't fun. And I guess that's like probably the biggest issue with this game is that the collectibles. They go way too overboard with the collectibles in this game, and the fact that you have to like replay a stage, certain stages 4 times, that's just annoying. Like you shouldn't be doing that. But overall, the gameplay's great, new worlds, like so much unique stuff. Yeah, I like the bosses are great. Story was okay. I kind of felt like the story could have been better. But yeah, I picked this up because it is phenomenal and it's fantastic. I should play this. I actually did. I love Crash so much. I actually go back to play this every now and then because it's great. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Now we come to another one of my favourite games on the system, Final Fantasy VII Remake. So I've never played any Final Fantasy game before. Like this is the first one I've ever played, and I think this game is phenomenal. Like it's brilliant, so amazing. I love the characters, love the gameplay, story. I don't think I understand the story, but whatever. Actually, I think I kind of do. I think I kind of understand the story, and I kind of like it. I think I mentioned it in my like anticipated games list video for the for the sequel for this, about how I kind of like the risks they took with the story, and I can understand why people don't like it. But yeah, this game is just so much fun, so fantastic, and yeah, just can't wait for the sequel to this. And I also can't think I might get the new traditional Final Fantasy game, which I think is what, 16, 17? I don't know what the next number game is, but yeah, I like this one, so if it's similar to this game, I might get it. Next up, this is a fun sort of underrated one, Wreckfest. So this is a vehicular combat racing game, and it's so much fun. So like basically like demolition derbies and that, yeah, demolition stuff, and yeah, these are great. This is such a fun game. So I think this is like made by the same guys who did the Flat Out games, the old PS2 games, who were then like lost the rights to make Flat Out, so they then started like a Kickstarter for this, and it only just came out like not that long ago, like what, 5 years ago now. But yeah, this game is fantastic. Like I remember the early days when like Nerdcube was playing the like original version of this. And back then, it still looked great, and now it is still great. It's still so much fun. This genuinely is probably one of the most underrated games like on the system, and the fact that they got the PS5 upgrade is great. The only issue with this game is no split screen. And I don't really understand why. Like this should be a game that you should be able to play with your friends on like couch co-op and all that, but no, just not there. And I really hope they can update it to have split screen, because without that it's just such a disappointment, because I would love to play this game with my brother, because we played it together once and it was such a shame we couldn't play it together. But yeah, apart from that, fantastic. I've had the 2 licensed games in this section. First off, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. I went and played a bit of this game, but I enjoyed what I played. Obviously again there's a sequel coming out this year, so I need to try and finish this game before the sequel comes out. But yeah, it's like probably the best thing that EA have done since they got the Star Wars license. Yeah, nothing else to say. Just really good Star Wars fighting game. Just Star Wars beat 'em up, or whatever what would you call it? Is it like a Souls styled game? Like obviously not as hard as a Souls style game, but it's kind of like got the similarities to it. But yeah, probably the best thing that has come out of Star Wars since Force Awakens. Although I haven't seen Andor yet, and apparently people say that one's really good and I need to watch it. Last up for the PS4 to PS5 section, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2. Yeah, this game, I do like the Tony Hawk's games, and this was just great. So it's the first 2 games remade officially, and it's just really good. It's just got all the music in it, and Tony Hawk's just a great game to sort of casually play. I mean, I know there are some people who can take this, who are really good and take it really seriously, and yeah, they can do what they want, but I think this game is just, yeah, it's good. It's good. I think I'm not. My issue with these games is that I'm terrible at them. Like if I was better at these games, I'd probably enjoy them more. But yeah, still good. And I guess this is the one to get. And I'm so annoyed they were going to do a 3 and 4 remake, but because Activision were Activision, they cancelled it and they made Vicarious Visions, and now we're just working on Call of Duty and stuff like that. Thanks Activision, you're doing a really good job of making yourselves look good. And last up we've got the PS5 games. So let's start with all the regular like actual games, not licensed stuff. And first up we've got Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. I've not played too much of this game, but from what I've played, it's really good. Like I've not really got anything else to say about this game. Just I need to play more of it. But yeah, really good. Probably like the game that, probably like the biggest selling point. This was like a top seller for. What am I trying to say? Like this was a system seller is what I'm trying to say. Like this was a game that when it came out, I think this was the one people realized, because this was like one of the first big PS5 exclusives. So there was actually a reason to buy the PS5 for this game. And yeah, I think it's really good. Next up, this one's okay. Sackboy Big Adventure. So obviously Sackboy from Little Big Planet. I don't think it's made by the same. Is it made by the same people who did Little Big Planet? I don't think it is. Yeah, because they lost the rights. I don't think they lost the rights to it. They just decided not to make the games anymore. Yeah, this is like, it's fine. It's a very simple, like platformer game. I guess it's okay. Like if you want just something casual that you can get through, I'd recommend it. It's okay. And obviously you can like download all the costumes for Sackboy, and that's cool. Yeah, that's about it. I want to try and I don't want to rush. I want to try and get through these games quite quickly, just because I don't want to waste too much time. Like I've got nothing else to say. I'm just going to skip right to it. So similar with this one, I've got nothing to say about this one. Oddworld Soulstorm. Yeah, just a sequel to it's a remake of the second Oddworld game, I believe. I've only played a bit of it. I think my issue with these is I don't think I'm very good at them. But yeah, I guess if you like these kind of games, then this will be good for you. But yeah, nothing else to say about this one, unfortunately. But yeah, I guess I'd recommend it if you like these kind of games. Alright, now here's a game I can actually have a lot to talk about. Sonic Frontiers. Yep, so this was the big Sonic game. I think everyone waited in bated breath and hoping this game was good. And I have to say, yeah, I liked it. Yeah, I think this game's good. I don't think it's a masterpiece. I don't think it's the best Sonic game ever. I would say, like, if I was to rate it, I would say maybe a 7 or 7.5. I think out of 10, I'd give it. I think it's got a couple of issues in it. Like some of the big issues is that I feel that the open world is a bit boring. There's not a lot to do in them. I feel like there's a lot of padding to get to the next parts of the game. And I just feel like there's just things sort of thrown around the like open world that makes it hard to know where you need to go. But apart from that, I think the game's just really fun. Sonic controls great. The story actually feels good. The boss fights are pretty fun. The game actually does look nice. And I just think I see this more as a perfect like framework for how Sonic should be now. Like I don't want Sega to go back and immediately change back to do another style or whatever. Just, you've got a framework here, work with it. Don't mess it up. So yeah, I guess I'd say I'm more interested in the sequel to this game and to see what Sega do next. But yeah, overall, I definitely recommend it. I would say you should get it. Frontiers is good. Next up, this is a good one. Pac-Man World Repack. So this is obviously the remake of the first Pac-Man World game. Yeah, I really liked this game actually. I thought it was really fun. I actually did beat the whole game like fairly quickly. It's not a long game, and sometimes you need those kind of games. Just these short, bite-sized games that you can sort of play through. And yeah, really, really recommend it. Like I've never played the original Pac-Man World. I played Pac-Man World. Yeah, I played Pac-Man World 2 and I enjoyed that one. But yeah, so hopefully maybe they make a Pac-Man World 2 remake. But yeah, I would highly recommend this game. Thought it was really fun. Next up, not a lot to say about this one. Hitman 3. I really want to get into this game, but it's, just sometimes it's hard to sort of get into these kind of games. They're very hard because you've got to like think about things to do, but it is really cool. I do love the fact that like you can kill this same target in many different ways, and I think this is almost like, from what I can gather, this is like a version where you can just, it has like Hitman 1 and 2 in here, so you can just sort of update it to include those missions and that, which is really fun. So yeah, nothing else to really say, just I need to play more of it. Next up, there's kind of a history about this one, which will be interesting. Them's Fighting Herd. So this is a fighting game. Not played a lot of this one yet, but it seems pretty cool. However, I wanted it for one reason. So let's go for the history of this game, because it's quite interesting. This actually started life as a My Little Pony fan game. It was called Fighting is Magic, and it was made by the same company, like Main 6. That's like an MLP reference, which is quite cool. And so they were working on it. It was a fan game, non-profit, nothing like that. And I think what happened was that 1 year at Evo, people started voting for the game to be played at Evo. And the developers were saying, please don't do that. Because for two reasons. One, the game wasn't finished yet. And two, they didn't want Hasbro to notice that they were doing this. So Hasbro noticed that they were working on it, and they immediately asked them to shut it down. Which was sad, but, you know, in situations like this, they realised, well, we're just going to make something original. And then this is where the story gets even better, where the story gets nicer, this is when the story becomes happy, is that the actual creator of Friendship with Magic, Lauren Faust, she actually joined the development team to make original characters for it. And that's so cool. That's just... So it's like, it's nice to know that it's had a happy ending, where what could have been a disaster because they lost the ability to make the game they wanted to, turned it into their original thing, got the original creator to work with them, and yeah, from all accounts, people really like it. Again, I need to play more of it. It's kind of difficult for me to play in some cases because it has like different mechanics that I need to learn, but yeah, I think I'm going to really enjoy it when I do play it. I guess that means we should move on to the licensed game section, so let's just do the two wrestling games again to continue that. So 2K22 and 2K23. So 2K23 is obviously the one that just came out like last month, I think. Yeah, these games are again good. Like 2K22 was a massive improvement from 2K20s. Like you'll notice there's no 2K21 because they didn't make 2K21. 2K20 was so bad they actually had to take a break from making another game, and also the pandemic probably didn't help, but. Yeah, they're both good. 2K23 has kind of had a lot of bugs so far, though. I mean, that's the problem with these wrestling games, that they always seem to be released unfinished. That's just the problem with the gaming industry in general, isn't it? Like, 2K23 has only just fixed, like, one of my biggest issues with it, which was that you couldn't, like, when you make your entrance, you can't, like, change your champion entrance. Like, it can only be a specific champion's entrance. They've only just fixed that, and it's just... That should really just been a thing that was in the game from the start, you know? Like this was something they did early in the original games. But yeah, they're still good, I guess. 2K22's career was pretty boring. Like they tried to go back to the whole 2K16 from 2K18 version of it, which I didn't like. 2K23 story mode is a lot better because I actually went back to actually telling a story, which was good. And they had like both a male and female story, which were both different, which was good. So yeah, I guess they're just fine, I guess. If you like wrestling, then just pick one of them up. And here are the last few. Not much to say about this one, because there's not much else I could really add to it. Miles Morales, Spider-Man Miles Morales. Yeah, still good. I guess it's a good framework of what Spider-Man 2 will be, because obviously Miles will be in that game. I mean, that was what this was. It was a side story, basically. It was a smaller game to get you excited for Spider-Man 2. And yeah, good. It's just like, yeah, same sort of gameplay, but it showed you how Miles will play in Spider-Man 2. And I'm excited to see what Spider-Man 2 does. Just please show us something more, guys, please. Next up, not lot to say about this one, Guardians of the Galaxy. I've already played this game. I don't know why, because people say this game's really good. It's another game I really just need to sit down and play. I've got a lot of games in my backlog that I'm playing right now, and maybe I'll start playing this after I see. Maybe when Guardians 3 comes out, I might go back. Maybe when Guardians 3 comes out, I'll have the bug for Guardians of the Galaxy, so I might go and play this. But yeah, from what I've played, it's pretty fun. I think the only issue is that you think you can only play as Star-Lord, which is kind of a shame. But I guess in a way, it's better to have one character who's done well than a bunch of characters done badly. You know, like the last time Square Enix made a Marvel game. Next up, this is the controversial one, I think. Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga. I was so excited for this game. Like Lego Star Wars: Complete Saga is like the best Lego game, and to have this is basically like the bigger version of it, 'cause it's got all the movies in it, including the sequels, unfortunately. But I'm going to be honest here. Didn't really like it that much. I think the game's fine. I just felt it wasn't. It feels like it's lost a lot of its charm. You know, like, first off, it's got dialogue in it, and I don't know how I agree with that. I don't mind too much because they've got some good voice actors in it. Like the prequel cast is all the Clone Wars characters, so you know James Arnold Taylor's Obi-Wan, Matt Lanter as Anakin, and it's also got Tom Kane in this, playing Yoda and that. I I believe this is actually his very last voice role, because he sadly had to retire last year because he suffered a stroke. So yeah, best wishes to him and all that. But the actual like gameplay, like they changed the gameplay, which I think was a good idea, because I think the Lego gameplay has been very generic lately. But I just didn't. I mean, I guess the gameplay's fine, and that's just, I don't know what it is about it. It's just something feels off. I think it also doesn't help that once you've finished the story mode, there's not really a lot to do. Like, they kind of made a big deal about how you can go to any, like, you can go to any planet and you can just mess around there. But when you actually do the open world stuff, there's just nothing to do. It's just really dull and just not exciting. Such a shame, because I think there was so much more they could have done with this. But yeah, I think definitely give it a go. I think it's not terrible. I would definitely, you can give it a chance on that, but I just wish it was better, you know. So we got the last two. Here we go. Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl, the Nickelodeon Smash Brothers game. Yeah, it's fine. Like, the problem with this game is people hyped the hell out of this game. Literally, people were, no joke, were calling this a Smash Brothers killer. Yeah, why? I don't, like, they ruined this game by calling it that. It's like, it's a fine game, it's fun, you know? But this was never going to rival Smash Bros. I don't know what they were thinking by saying that. Like, because it wasn't the developers who said that, it was the fan base who said that. And I don't know why, like, they pretty much killed it before it started, because I was getting fed up with people saying that. Which is a shame, because it's not terrible, it's fine. But people were acting like it was going to be better. Because like, you're not hearing people talk about this anymore now. Which again is a shame, like, because they even had a DLC and they got, like, because the problem was that it was very cheap when it came out. Like, Nickelodeon have, like, I mean, the developers have kind of said that Nickelodeon were very unhelpful. Like, they wouldn't allow voice acting. When it came to, like, voice lines, they were only allowed to use voice lines from the show. And, like, when it came to, like, alternate costumes, they also couldn't do, they had to do stuff that was from the show. So it's very awkward. Like, Nickelodeon just really hurt them here. But but to their credit, they kept working on it. They added voice acting eventually, put some DLC on it, put in some characters people wanted, like Jenny for My Life as a Teenage Robot, Hugh Neutron for Jimmy Neutron's in here, and Rocco got added, and then they also added Garfield as well, which is pretty cool. Yeah, I'd recommend it, but just don't go in expecting Smash Brothers, because you're just never going to do that. And the last one, this one's pretty fun, Hot Wheels Unleashed. This is great. Like, this is the best Hot Wheels game they've ever made, which I know isn't a high bar because most of them are rubbish, but this one really feels like you're racing actual Hot Wheels. Like, you know, the track designs with all the, like, using, like, the actual, like, things you would get in a Hot Wheels, like, set. All the cars are actual Hot Wheels cars you can actually go out and buy. There's lots of great licensed ones. Like, you got the DeLorean, Back to the Future. There was some great DLC with, like, SpongeBob's cars and DC cars and all that stuff. Like, yeah, this is really, really good. I highly would recommend you buy this because it is so much fun. I guess my only issue is that a lot of the track designs do seem a little bit generic, but apart from that, I think it's fun. Because they also added in some cool, like, DLC tracks. Like, they had some Batman tracks, Looney Tunes track. They had, like, a stop motion, like, creator track where, like, you're going for, like, stop motion areas and that. That was fun. So yeah, absolutely pick this game up. So yeah, that's all of them. Hope you enjoyed this one. I'm not going to be doing a digital video for this one because I didn't do one for the Wii U, and that was mostly because I felt like they weren't getting as much views as the other videos, and also I just didn't really enjoy doing the digital ones. Like, I think if they got views, I would have continued doing it, but I just wasn't enjoying them. I think it's a lot harder to do it when you're just, like, looking at a blank, like a screen, and you just got, like, talking to a microphone and that. This is a lot more easier because I can actually hold the game up, I can show it around and all that. I just think it looks a lot better on. It's just a much better viewing experience. So, unless people really want to see me do a digital video, I will. But at the moment, I'm not going to. So, thanks for watching, and that's all the console games now. So we're going to move on to digital next, and I believe next time will be Game Boy, Game Boy Color, and Game Boy Advance. I'm going to try and do all three in one video. So, bye everyone.